Is this 2021 defense better than the 2019 defense?
I don't know if you can say better. It's that defense in 2019 was historic in certain metrics. Like their pass defense for a lot of that season was historic.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you can say they're better equipped to handle certain things than the 2019 defense. I think they're a little more creative with their fronts than the 2019 defense. I think they move their fronts around a little bit here or there, instead of playing a nose tackle, playing him as a 2-eye and doing small things like that to make subtle adjustments to make their fronts more effective. I do think they're more creative in the back end. And I think it's a little less. They just line up and play the defense they're in. They're a lot more creative in terms of how they rotate their safeties and create just a second of confusion for quarterbacks. And then the other thing I would probably say is I think they're healthier at this point in the season than the
Yep. That's a
2019
big one.
defense. I think
That's a
that
big
makes
one.
the biggest
Yeah.
difference. I don't know if you can out and out say they're a better defense because top to bottom, from week 1 to week 19, more or less, that 2019 defense was unbelievable. They had a small stretch of games when everybody was tired. The defensive line was a little bit tired that they didn't play as well. But overall, they were phenomenal. But I do think in terms of being better equipped maybe to handle if they play the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl, I think this defense might have a slight advantage there because, the late safety rotations, how good, the Emmanuel Mosley's playing. I think Emmanuel Mosley's playing at a level higher than Sherman was playing in 2019, just in terms of his ability to do everything. Obviously, Sherman, all-time great corner in that scheme. It's tough to say he's better. I just think Emmanuel Mosley, you can
I never
go
thought
a little bit
Sherman
more
was great in
man.
2019. I always thought Sherman was a borderline liability, and I was surprised it took until the Super Bowl for someone to go for it. But it was really before this. It was the NFC Championship game, and it was late, and they were winning, and they showed it. Anyway, there's no more liabilities on the defense anymore, in my opinion. I don't think there's any.
Yeah, and then to go along with that, to me, I'll go as far as to say this: at this point in the season, to me, the trio of Bosa, Arden Key, and Eric Armstead is playing better than the trio of Bosa, Armstead, and Buckner played in 2019. Bosa is a better version of Bosa. To me, Armstead's playing at a level right now. I never saw DeForest Buckner dominate games like this. I'm sorry.
What's crazy
He
to
was
me
a
about
phenomenal
Armstead,
player.
dude, he can. Okay, so Armstead's great. I apologize. I was wrong. The way he can flip a switch is crazy. Why doesn't he just do this all the time? If I were Eric Armstead's coach, I'd be like, all right, Eric, my advice is just do this all the time. All right, back to you.
There's a slight more physical dominance to Eric Armstead than there is to DeForest Buckner.
Yeah,
There's
Buckner's
just
more
raw
like a
power
swing
that
move
just
kind
wrecks
of judo
plays.
you kind of guy, and Armstead is in your face. Yeah, I agree.
He just wrecks plays. And then Arden Key is practically unblockable on third downs from the inside. He just dominates. I mean, this Samson Ebukam sack, just great play by Ebukam, but it's created by Arden Key, just absolutely annihilating the play. So to me, those three are playing better. Look, there's details. I don't know if I can go as far as to say this defense is better than 2019, but I do think they're better equipped maybe to handle certain situations than that 2019 defense. And
I think their run defense is better.
Yeah.
I think
I agree with that.
Might be forcing. I think they might force more turnovers. At least they have recently. It's like 2 a game, it seems like. What else?
DJ Jones is healthy. He was not healthy in 2019.
I think they're peaking too. I think they're improving. Whereas that defense played some of its best football in September and October.
Yeah.
And it might be better, man. I don't know if it is better, but it might be. It's in the conversation. It's so good. It's surprisingly good. I thought the Packers would score 24. They scored 10. I thought
and they struggled.
The Cowboys would score 30. They scored 16.
And they struggled to move the ball. And the interesting thing is, we talk so much about how the front of the 49ers wrecks games, and it absolutely does. But in coverage, you're talking about Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, two of the more cerebral quarterbacks in the NFL. They were not trusting their eyes all game. Dak Prescott, I went back and watched the film. It's obvious he was not 100% sure of what he was seeing. The Niners' late rotations and just the little changes they were making and just the fact that they were playing a lot of different coverages was getting to him. And Rodgers, just from watching him in the pocket, he did not look like cool, confident, swaggered Aaron Rodgers. It felt like he was double clutching. He had to take an extra hitch sometimes. Pass rush was getting to him. Their defense is serious. DeMeco Ryans is serious. I think he probably secured the Vikings job after that performance. I don't know how you couldn't give him that job, but
Nick says, not to sound like a homer, but it's funny how the last 3 games they've won, the national media talks about the teams that lost, Packers, Dallas. I think that's because the Packers and Dallas are huge teams. It's about who they're beating. If they beat the Cardinals, no one will be talking about the Cardinals.
I mean, look at the Rams. They just beat the Bucks, and they're talking about the Bucks because it's Brady.